Hi, I'm Krista and I am 19 years old, almost 20, and I am interested in working with NCS. The first time I heard of NCS was actually last year. I had applied to volunteer with International Citizen Service, which is ICS, and after being allocated a placement, my team and I had to go to a pre-placement training where we were trained in areas like safety and security and safeguarding and all that jazz. And one of our trainers had actually worked with NCS before, and he mentioned working with you and the possibility of working with you. And the way he described it, it seemed like a great way to get involved with youth, inspire people and help them become active citizens. So actually, going back to ICS, last year I went to South Africa with a charity called Restless Development, and our main focus was educating young people on our four main topics: gender-based violence, livelihoods, life skills, and sexual reproductive health and rights. So the way we were educating was in school and out of school. So in school, we were teaching kids ages 12 to 19, roughly, on our four main topics. And some of the classes had more than 100 people. So for our sessions, my team and I, so it was myself, another UK volunteer, and our two counterparts who were South African. We were in charge of planning, developing and monitoring the session. So we developed lots of skills regarding those areas, lots of communication skills, especially because the classes were so big. We had to come up with ways to keep the kids engaged, but at the same time trying to get our main message of the session across. So during our sessions, we could plan as much as we want and would prepare as much as we could, but like, you never know exactly what's going to happen. So it was something that always kept us on our feet, because during our sessions we had to be monitoring everyone's engagement, and if we were using a method that wasn't exactly captivating the learners' attention, learners is what they call the students in South Africa, then we had to come up with ways to make them engage and to make them want to listen to what we were trying to tell them, basically. So yeah, that always made us, it always had us on our tippy toes. We always had to think on our feet, maybe change the session in the middle of it just because what we had planned wasn't working. We also delivered out of school sessions, which was with youth and also the older generations, and we would talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, and we would hold workshops on things like CV writing and how to get a job, how to create your email address, stuff like that. Obviously, going to South Africa, it's a very different environment. So at first, there was this like adaptation period when it was just like getting used to how different everything was, like the pace of life, the change in environment, the change of culture, everything, which at first was hard to manage, but over the course of the time, I definitely built up my resilience and definitely learned to adapt and change the way I was used to thinking. It definitely made me more flexible and adaptable. So yeah, right now I'm a student in Florida State University. So actually my dad is Panamanian and my mom is English, but I grew up in Panama, así que sí, yo hablo español. So if you don't know what that means, so yeah, I speak Spanish. I came to Panama when I was 5, and I stayed here until the age of 17 when I finished school. By then I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life, so I packed all of my stuff into a suitcase and moved to the UK with my grandma, with hopes of working, earning some money maybe, and getting some experience. And after 2 years in the UK, I decided it was time to come back to university, and Florida State University actually has a campus in Panama. So I decided, and so after a couple years in Panama, or after a year, I'll transfer over to Florida. but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting a bachelor's in arts and a bachelor's in science, and I'm currently studying biochemistry because I would like to become a doctor in the future. Once I was climbing a volcano and I thought I would not make it. By the 3rd kilometer I was out of breath, I hadn't trained, I thought I would give up. But after pushing myself, and I was with some friends and my friends encouraged me and they kept me going, they said you can do this, you can do this. I found my pace and I was like, I can do this. I think that's in a way kind of like what teenage years are like. So you struggle at first, but once you come into yourself and once you get to know yourself and once you surround yourself by good people and people that are there to help you, then you'll find your pace and you'll keep going. And I feel like NCS is a big part in the formation of these kids especially, and I feel like being with a group of people that are there for the same reasons as you are and getting to know them and maybe giving them encouragement and them giving encouragement to you can be very empowering to these kids, and I would like to take part in that. I think I would be a great fit for the NCS seasonal roles because I feel like I am someone that creates open communication, if that makes sense. So yeah, I feel like I could get the people, the kids, the teenagers on my team to communicate, to be open with me. I also feel like I could help them with their personal development and I could guide them through the personal development. I am also very enthusiastic. I would get very involved into the activities, and I think positive attitudes are contagious, and I think if the person that's leading you takes on a positive attitude, then you're more likely to take on that positive attitude, if that makes sense. I also feel that not only would my team learn something from me, I'm actually very excited in learning something from them because I feel like every day you can learn something new, no matter what. And I feel like it would be a really good experience to get to know these people and in a way influence them into becoming active citizens and participating more in their communities and getting involved, because right now in 2019 it's like the largest amount of youth there has ever been, like ever, in the whole history of ever. So we are literally the future, and I feel like if we inspire youth to become more active and to become more involved, then we would eventually lead to a better world and a better place for everyone to live in. So yeah, I'm really excited to work with NCS and I actually cannot wait.